Welcome to another episode of The Art of Volunteering. I am very excited today to have my guest, Josh Maxwell. He is one of 3 county commissioners for the Chester County community, and he is going to talk about volunteering in a little different aspect than what we're used to. So welcome, Josh.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, Josh began his term as Chester County Commissioner in January of 2020 and is currently Vice Chair. His priorities are to ensure that our communities thrive, create opportunities for working families, and safeguard the equality for all. He also serves as an adjunct professor of political science at Lincoln University in southern Chester County. Prior to his election as commissioner, he served 10 years as the mayor of Downingtown, where he lives with his wife, Blair. So I am looking forward to this. Back in June at the Taste of Coatesville, I had an idea and I shared it with Josh. It's about time donations. People can donate their furniture, their clothes, and get an in-kind donation. But what about people who volunteer their time of a way of giving back for or saying thank you for what they're doing? And then in October, I woke up and read the Daily Local News, and there was this article about how Josh had found a way to make time donation work for first responders. And so I'm just going to let Josh share about what he and the other 2 commissioners came up with and how it's going to help the people of Chester County. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you. This is exciting. We in this country, we rely heavily on volunteers to do the work on behalf of government. And it's not something you see in many other countries where the people who run towards and into a fire are actually volunteers from the local community that are nearby and willing to leave their house, go grab a fire truck, get into somebody's house and save some lives. And the training and the preparation and the regulatory things that have to be overcome by these volunteers is immense. So it's always difficult, especially as people start to move around more often and don't work in the same town where they live quite often, to get folks to fill these positions. So one of the things we decided we would do was create a way for folks to earn rebates on their property taxes by volunteering as an EMT or a local volunteer firefighter. We came up with a scoring system, a unique scoring system. Some counties are doing it in a different way, but we have a way where you can earn 50% rebate on your county property taxes, all the way up to 100% rebate on your county property taxes, based on how much training you go to, how many fires you show up to, how many ambulance calls you go on, things like that. So, say you can only do 50%. That's fine. That's still valuable. 2 people doing 50% of the work allows for a 50% rebate, and we still get between the 2 a full commitment from a volunteer firefighter in Chester County. So we're rolling it out beginning next year. People will pay their property tax and then apply for the rebate based on the scoring system the following year. So we're excited to see how it works the first year. As any government program that's well run, we expect to have to toggle the switches here a little bit, see how many people actually take advantage of this, and then make sure that we evaluate it next year to see what worked, what didn't work, and then make any changes that need to be made.
That's awesome. How's it been received by the first responders? Have you had anyone comment?
They appear to be happy with this.
Okay.
I'd be lying if I didn't say it was a request from them. And they want to use it as a recruitment tool. So especially getting younger people, first-time home buyers, folks are looking to pay off student loans or save up for their kids' college. This is an opportunity for them. So they seem to be very, very happy. We need to make sure we get the word out so that everyone that deserves this tax rebate gets rewarded with it.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. I love it. I love the fact that you found a way, and I hope that it spreads through all of Pennsylvania and beyond. So that's awesome. All right, let me circle back to you. Do you have a volunteer journey, and would you like to share that?
I grew up in a small town, and I got really involved with my church when I was a teenager, and started to volunteer visiting people in the hospital, taking flowers to folks, and then going on mission trips, things like that, to Mexico, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then when I was in college, was able to. I was given an extra credit opportunity, which is something I needed, by volunteering at a nonprofit in Kent Square, which is La Comunidad Hispana, and at LCH, which they are affectionately known by. I was teaching GED classes and citizenship tests to people who are applying to be citizen or trying to further their education. Maybe they dropped out between entering this country, or in some cases we're going back to school. So in some cases they graduated in their home country, but needed to get a GED here in this country to have access to better employment opportunities. And I already did that. I actually stayed an extra year volunteering at LCH, uh, uh, post the extra credit opportunity I received. And I've kind of been always involved with volunteering in some way, in an organized way since, whether it was with the Rotary Club for 5 years, Good Works, once a month, repairing people's homes. And now I serve on a lot of volunteer boards and have a lot of opportunities to get involved and meet people and find ways to at this point, fund a lot of these nonprofits I was volunteering with just a few years ago.
Do you have a favorite that you like to work with? More human service, more arts? Like, is there something you enjoy more than others?
I think anything that fights to eradicate poverty tends to get my interest. I think a lot of our issues, from a human services perspective, flow out of people experiencing poverty. So whether it's finding employment opportunities, academic opportunities, or just better health services, I tend to gravitate towards the areas that, as a government, we really struggle to reach and struggle to get people the help they deserve.
If you could put it into 60 seconds, why do you volunteer?
What about- I think selfishly, like it feels good. I feel good helping somebody else, right? I don't think I would be a happy person if I didn't spend a few weekends a year, 1 week in a month, or a couple nights every week, helping somebody else. I think I would feel um, probably anxious and not very proud of myself. So I just wouldn't feel like a good person. So I think it fulfill to help other people on a volunteer basis, fulfills me in some way.
Okay. Through your volunteer experience or your life journey, have you seen a story of impact somewhere where you really, the time that you were donating really impacted someone's life? And what does that look like?
We had when I was in college, we one uh, week a year, we would build a handicap ramp for somebody who needed it, and that was our kind of thing we did every year. We had somebody's father was a contractor. He would source all the material. We were 19 years old and sufficiently capable of being laborers and carrying wood around and drilling things. And one time we did it was a gentleman he was living in a manufacturing home community, and so we built the ramp, and it was a pretty large ramp. It has to be 1 inch per foot, and I mean we're talking up and back and up. And he came out, and we are going to take a photo with him. And his wife mentioned he hadn't been out of the house in 10 years,
Oh, wow.
and we're like, "Whoa, well, this is significant." He was very happy to be out in the sun, and it made us kind of step back and feel good about what we were doing.
Amazing. If you could encourage someone else to volunteer or get involved, what would you say to them?
I would say we all have a skill that would be useful to help somebody else. And whether you're a good writer, a good photographer, someone that likes to listen, go to a local senior center, or um, and listen to stories. There's no better way to kind of grow as a person than by helping somebody else out.
That's awesome. All right. Can you share a blooper? Not that there's something that went wrong, that it didn't go as planned. If from your volunteer journey, maybe one of the boards that you're on or someplace that you volunteer with, and what did you learn from it?
Uber, like a
Blooper,
mistake I made.
blooper. It doesn't have to be a mistake, just something that didn't go as planned.
Well, sometimes these boards can be tense. Sometimes you disagree on things like budgets and who should work there or who shouldn't work there. And at times I've navigated those decisions poorly. Many of those times I've learned from them. I think some of that stemmed from being on some boards, getting elected when I was in my mid 20s, and being asked to serve on some of these. Um, I thought at one point in time, I thought somebody who worked for us, it was volunteering actually, was being treated really unfairly. And so I think uh, I've learned a little bit to see the big picture,
Mhm.
and manage those relationships a little more professionally, and making sure that we disagree in a positive way. And you know, uh, there's a there's a little bit of small p politics and everything. Whether you're a university professor or on a nonprofit board, I don't mean cable news political. I mean how we prioritize different things, and it's important to be able to navigate that in an effective way and in a professional way.
Gotcha. All right. We're almost done. I'm going to let you love on Chester County from a commissioner's point of view. Why should people check us out? We have a large amount of nonprofits in Chester County. You get to see us from a really bird's eye view. Like you kind of have like a wide angle and a focused angle of who we are and what we do. Just love on us.
Well, it's the starters. Like, where do we stand out? 70% of Chester County residents live within 1 mile of a park, trail, or preserve. Everyone wants to live near a trail, near a park or preserve, and 70% of our 530,000 residents do. This is a wonderful place to live a quiet life, with a tremendous amount of resources, between public schools, healthcare, um, access to some transportation. This county really has a lot of assets and much less struggles than almost all of our neighboring counties, if not most of the counties in the country. So we're always trying to uh, build this cohesion here in Chester County. This is a county that likes to stay out of the news. We like to do our own thing quietly and together, and you'll be around people that um, uh, just want their entire community to thrive. So um, I think it's a special place to be.
That's awesome. Well, that concludes our interview. No really hard questions today. I hope that you have a great. Today's actually Veterans Day, so I hope you have a great Veterans Day. And to my guests, to my listeners, thank you for tuning in. I hope you found as much value in today's episode as I did. And if you did, please go to wherever you listen to the podcast and rate and review it and share it with your friends. Thank you and have a great day.